this might be about my whole video diary for the day. Today I had a load that got canceled, or I should say postponed, for I'm not sure, third, fourth, fifth time at this point. I was supposed to pick these items up yesterday in Grand Rapids, and then the person kind of beat around the bush to tell me that ultimately they weren't able to be picked up yesterday. So he said, hey, I could get them to you tomorrow morning. And I said, well, it would have to be before 9 a.m. because I've got a commitment at 9 a.m. And I said, can you do that? He said, yeah, unless you would be willing to come up after your commitment and pick them up. And I said, no, I'm not. One of the first times I've ever told someone just flat no on something that they've requested. And if this had been the first time that something had come up or happened with this customer, I might have said, sure, I can make that happen for you. I am not into like hard, fast rules or, jumping to extremes, which I feel that just automatically refusing to accommodate a customer's need that comes up. I feel like that's kind of extreme, and that is kind of the tendency. That's like the popular take on it today is, hey, if someone's, kind of not ready to go, if they're messing you around or whatever, just forget them. And the fact is that things do come up, things do happen, things happen on my end too all the time, and people are understanding of it. But in this case, it is somebody who's been not ready to go when he says he's going to be ready to go, and when we have a plan in place, and when I've scheduled around this plan that we've put in place. And it's happened almost every time I've worked with him. It doesn't mean that I don't like him or don't think he isn't a good guy who's trying his best to make his own small business work and grow, and doesn't mean I have any problem with him, but it does mean that I have drawn a boundary, and I drew a boundary this time and said, if you can't, you can get it. I opened up an option that had not been opened before and said, sure, if you can get them to me before 9 a.m., you can drop them off. We can do a quick drop off, a quick unload from your vehicle, and I will reload them onto my trailer properly after I get done with what I have scheduled for the day, and I'll still get it done today. That option had previously not been available to him. And I did have a different job request for today. And I told that person, I'm not available today. Tuesday's the earliest I could do it. And I could have just told them, sure, let's do it today. I don't know if it would have mattered, because that person also went kind of non-communicative on me. And I texted him last night and said, hey, I'm available today after all, just let me know. And he never got back to me. Now, if he had gotten back to me and said, oh, well, thanks, we found another solution or whatever, then I would have been like, well, this person kind of messed things up. The fact that he didn't get back to me at all tells me he's also just kind of a non-communicative person. He's not following through. I don't feel like I necessarily missed out on anything there. If anything, what I did today was gain something. I gained some time. I gained a chance to take it easy. I'm still getting things done. I went through and organized all this stuff when that needed to be done. I grabbed some of my tools so that I can do some work at the camp for a measly $15 an hour, but key concept here, guaranteed $15 an hour. And really, I'm providing some of my tools and even some supplies for this job, so I'm kind of donating it to some extent. But at the end of the day, most of those things are tools I don't mind having anyways, so I don't mind donating my skills, my tools, everything else even a couple of the supplies that are actually going into the job. And bottom line, I've already spent the money on those things, so at this point I might as well make that money back at least, or even see a little on top of it come in by getting paid to do the job. So it's a day that I'm not driving. That's a good day. And driving's not really the problem, but driving with a strict schedule, a strict deadline all the time, that's a problem. That's what results in doing that 50% more driving in a day than you really should do. And that's what really starts to wear down your body and your mind and your spirit over time. So I still have a really long drive coming up. I will be driving to California starting as soon as tomorrow evening, and that's fine. I didn't remove the commitment to drive from myself. What I removed was the commitment to rush a trip because my customer didn't have things together on his end. And I declined to bend over backwards to try to pick up his slack. And I don't mean that in a mean way, it's just what it is. And I declined so that I can have this cool, calm conversation with YouTube about it, instead of having an angry one where I'm on the road, I'm stressed out, I am pushing myself to sit for far longer than I want to in a vehicle to race out to Wisconsin and race back to Michigan, because that's not okay with me. That's not something that I want to promote. That's not how I want to be. And ultimately, it's my responsibility to make the decisions that make me the person I want to be. Because I don't want to be someone who's on YouTube complaining about the work that I've chosen to do. So I do want to be somebody who's on YouTube saying, and just in life in general, saying, I'm okay, I'm making decisions that are working for me, I've learned how to adjust and adapt with the ones that did not work for me. I'm making decisions that allow me to meet my needs, but also be healthy in the process, or be as healthy as possible in the process, because that's what I want for myself and that's what I want for other people. And it's possible. And so I need to make the decisions that allow me to go about it in the way that is possible, so that I can be out here promoting this is possible. So I can give other people something to aim for and know that they're aiming for something that's going to make sense and going to work for them and bring them joy, and not just bring them a heck of a lot of stress to barely scrape by. That's not really anybody's end goal. And that's not the story I want to tell on YouTube. It's not the story I want to tell with my life in general, in any set of circumstances. So today and yesterday, when we had this initial communication about this, I made the decision that's going to work for me. And ultimately, I placed that responsibility right where it belongs, on my customer. And I gave him an option. I opened up another option that I didn't even have to open up, and said, sure, you can get them to me by 8:45 a.m. today, and I'll still get the job done on our original schedule. And I said, if you don't want to do that, then the next available time I have to pick them up is Tuesday evening or afternoon for delivery on Wednesday. So I didn't give him a hard time about it. I said, first thing I said was, it's all right, things happen, but here are the options. Given what you're telling me, here are the options that I can provide to you. And I left it up to him. And he chose not to, or maybe he wasn't able to, get them to me today. And that's okay. That's actually, I'm glad, because if he had, I would have run them out to Wisconsin, and it, in theory, wouldn't have been an insanely long day. But it's, I think, going to work better and easier this way. So, and that was up to him. It's the decision he made. And I think it's possible to, address these things without being a jerk about it, but still being gentle and firm and saying, this is what I can do, this is what I can't do. Here are the options. Tell me what you want to do. So this is probably my whole video diary for the day. I haven't been great about getting them up on YouTube, and that's also okay, because it's been a little bit overwhelming for me recently to get all of these up on YouTube in addition to actually just doing the work. And I do want to focus on just getting some good, honest work done. Although I like the concept of making some videos, I like the concept of putting them up on YouTube, especially if I am able to promote something that I actually believe in and not just me running around like crazy trying to get things done. So there's some really good content that I've gotten recently from one recent job I did in particular that was really pretty cool. Heck of a lot of driving, but very cool people, very cool delivery. Spoiler alert, it involves airplanes. But and then there's some other pretty good content. I just had to, I just have had to get some rest and relax and prioritize my own health. And now with some little bit of spare time coming up, I hope to get that stuff up. But for right now, I'll post this as a standalone thing. Thank you for watching. As always, I appreciate your views. I appreciate the watch hours. I appreciate being one small step closer to a monetized channel with every watch hour. I do have enough subscribers right now to be monetized. It's just a matter of getting the watch hours, but I think every additional subscriber does help. Just in general, me build momentum on YouTube, so I appreciate it if you have subscribed or if you do subscribe. But either way, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and talk to you later.